when Rashford scored, obviously you guys must have been ecstatic. Your brother, Anton Ferdinand, he said it was offside, and you're like, nah, it's not, bruv. Like, and you were getting quite a bit of stick as well from the West Ham fans. I saw. What was that about?
Well, I'm only being honest. I'm a pundit. That's what you got to do. You got to be honest. Say what you see.
Rio, Declan Rice. Woo!
You're going to get him in trouble again.
100% successful long passes, 100% successful dribbles, 4 interceptions, and on top of that, he started talking about how nice it is to play at OT. What's going on?
No comment.
Yeah?
That's what he needs to say.
No, I don't want any more heat for West Ham fans.
Sokin. They can never do it like I. When you see man pull up and slide, man stepped in a room with legends, Rio and Steve, you know it's a vibe. Check the podcast, what you wanna know? Don't ask me, go and ask Joe. If you're talking Premier League, he's on the front line and I gotta go. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. Vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know this.
We want to give a massive shout out to our sponsors, Sokin, trusted partners of Arsenal, Everton, Fulham, AS Monaco for their global payments and money transfers. It's not just football clubs that use Sokin. You can send your money to your friends and family around the world. Make serious savings at the same time, all using the Sokin app. Go to Sokin.com, open your free account, and you can access exclusive football prizes too. And you know what? Yeah, we got games coming up, man. Everton versus Man City, Arsenal versus Brentford, AS Monaco versus Lyon. All you have to do to win tickets to this game is let us know, when did the 5 platforms start? What year was it? Let us know in the comments, man. And also, you have to follow us on socials as well. We want proof. The winners get those tickets. So let us know. Peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for this week's episode of Vibe with 5. I can see Rio's teeth are back out, smiling. You know what I mean? I ain't seen you smile this much, bro. What's going on? What are you getting trimmed though?
Yeah, mate, I need a haircut. I've had the Rona in her, so it's been a nightmare, man. So I ain't been seeing my barber or nothing.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, a little bit better. I'm a bit better, man. The symptoms have kind of worn off now, but we are back. Man United, the result kind of cheered me through it, got me through the weekend, didn't it? So I'm all right, man.
I was surprised. I was thinking, I thought this guy went well. What is he doing? Messaging the group, making noise, and like, what's that?
Do you know what? The results at the weekend couldn't have gone any better for Man United. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I even heard Steve piping up as well, man. Like, he sent me a message.
Whoa. I always pipe up. You don't see me go silent.
No, you do.
Anyway, we banter Arsenal a lot on here, but I just want to say you did well getting a hard-fought point there this week against a tough opposition. So well done. You're proving you can grind out results in big games. So Arsenal are back, baby.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you because you're there celebrating top 4 when you know you should be challenging. Okay, so let's move it on, guys. Ragnick. Let's be really honest. Let's talk about the first game, Rio. What did you think of the game this weekend just gone?
Well, I thought Man United were it's the most control that I've seen from United in a while in some senses. It was a bit of a drab game, I've got to be honest. It weren't a great game. There weren't many chances on goal. But I don't think Man United ever really looked stretched in the game, and there's not very many times you could say that. There was no real big spells where you went, "Oh, Man United are under it." They look like they're going to get opened up. West Ham looked really dangerous. Antonio, they kept him quiet. Bowen had 1 or 2 little sniffs. I just thought there was a bit more composure in the performance. It wasn't nowhere near perfect. Weren't where you want it to be. But it wasn't a game where you felt, oh, we look wide open. And I think that was the pleasing part for me in that aspect. And obviously the icing on the cake was Man United. What I loved about it was the substitutions that he made were very positive. By the end of the game, there was Cavani, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rashford and Martial all on the pitch. 4 attacking players, strikers basically on the pitch. And they combined Martial, Cavani, Ronaldo all combined, and Rashford finished it off. It was a beautiful goal in the end, and the timing was so Manchester United.
Steve, you smirked a little bit when Rio mentioned, all the attacking players against West Ham. I mean, were you pleased to see it?
On one hand, yeah, but on the other hand, no, because it means that you've had to push all your chips in to try and get the win. I agree with what Rio was saying with the control, and obviously it isn't perfect, and I guess you've got to build a house one brick at a time, haven't you? But it was starting to look like it turned the corner a little bit, I would say. The issue I saw in the game was we created a lot of shots, but not a lot of chances. Do you know what I mean with that? Like, we seemed to be shooting a lot from mad places, but they weren't like really good chances. Like, you can't really say that there was a lot of people missing open nets and sitters and stuff like that. There weren't a proliferation of really good chances. There was a lot of like sort of long range sighters, and I think if you change that, which obviously is not easy to do, but you change that aspect of it, and we'll start really putting teams away and looking dominant throughout the 90 minutes, I think. And you won't need to put 4 strikers on at the end to save you a goal.
I mean, do you have a problem?
I think he's changed his approach. He came in and was very much, it's going to be, and his teams in the past have been very, very press orientated, that making sure that they're high energy, high press, really going for teams at the top end of the pitch and following behind that. And there seems to have been a bit of a change because he doesn't feel this group are capable of doing that, or he hasn't had the time on the training pitch to implement those ideas. So the team are semi-pressing, they're falling back a little bit, and they're not playing like a Ralph Rangnick team that we've seen in the past in terms of that press.
Man, and I saw online, Rio, before I forget, when Rashford scored, obviously you guys must have been ecstatic, buzzing. Your brother, Anton Ferdinand, could we please put up the tweet within the video? He said it was offside, and you're like, nah, it's not, bruv. Like, and you were getting quite a bit of stick as well from the West Ham fans. I saw. What was that about?
Well, I'm only being honest. I'm a pundit. That's what you got to do. You got to be honest, say what you see. And it wasn't offside, and it's a goal, man. It's at the end of the day, our family is very torn between West Ham and Man United. I came through, and Anton came through at West Ham. Loved the club, and obviously then I went out and went to Man United and done what I'd done via Leeds. But Man United become my club and the club that I love, and all of my best years as a professional were there. And my kids are Man United fans. Anton and these kids are all West Ham fans. So when West Ham and Man United play, there's a bit of a split in the house. But I love West Ham. So it's a bit of a funny game for me in that sense. A 0-0 draw is probably one that suits everybody. But Man United go and win the game, and I can celebrate that.
I wanna talk to you, Steve, about Harry Maguire. What a game the boy had.
Roll it back a little bit. Roll it back a little bit. It was a good game.
Yeah.
Let's not be coming on here saying what a game. It was a good game.
Why? I haven't even rolled out the stats.
Breaks a little bit.
Calm down, bro. You know what I mean? Calm down. Because when Phil Jones came in, you was waxing lyrical to Phil Jones. You got to give Maguire his props, man. Let's look at the stats. You're talking.
Phil Jones had 2 years stuck in the shelves at Tesco. Maguire's on a week off.
We heard the joke a few weeks ago, mate. Okay, 100% tackles won, 5 aerial duels won, 5 ball recoveries, 1 interception. I mean, come on, seriously.
No, it was a good performance, I thought, from Maguire, or a better performance than we've seen from him recently. He's looked shaky, he's looked unconfident, and that was almost like a change of direction from him. So it's nice to see. Hopefully that continues. It's one game at a time, though. I think with a lot of the players at United at the moment, they can be amazing one week or very good one week and then terrible the next. So it's about building some sort of consistency, I think, this United team on all fronts.
I think what was important for this team and the big threat that West Ham poses, West Ham, they can get in behind teams with the likes of Bowen, with the likes of Antonio. And that was one of the, if I'm looking at it from a defensive point of view, that was one of the most pleasing points for me in that game, is that they didn't get caught behind. I think Varane covered his side very well. A couple of times the striker got channel side and he got over there, covered it, ushered it out of play or retained possession. And no one got in behind Maguire. I think that's been a big criticism of him, with Lindelof especially as well, that teams have been able to get out by playing one straight ball over the top and getting behind. And that's maybe because that press they've been trying to press and whatnot and getting that press and timing wrong. I think Maguire's performance was based off of 2 really good tackles, 1v1 he made. One against Antonio, I don't know who the other one was against, but he made 2 telling really good tackles. And then that built confidence. And that's what you need as a player, confidence coming into a game, build it through it, and he done that. But you can't be sitting there going, that's an amazing performance, blah, blah. These players will be judged.
I said that because I know Steve's feelings, you know what I mean? Like
the players will be judged over like a long period of time, man. That's the difference.
Yeah, but I know that there's that biasness there for Steve anyway.
There's no bias here, Joel. I'll tell you what I see when I see it.
Yeah?
This weekend he was good. Last weekend he wasn't.
He didn't play last weekend.
Yeah.
Wednesday night.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And then, so when you look, and also Rio, you said he needed to be, I don't want to quote your words exactly the same, but you did suggest that he needed to be dropped, you know, just to really basically reset himself. You know, sometimes players need that. First question, do you think that's done him good? And secondly, do you remember playing with someone who needed that nudge, or you've had a discussion with someone, I don't know, at the club, and you said, oh, you might need, you know, a couple of games off just to, you know, help him get his head sorted, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I did say that. I think sometimes you need to be taken out of the fire and he's needed that. He's been under huge pressure. That comes with being a Man United captain. That's part of it. And I think the proof will be in the pudding. The proof will be we have to see it now. He's come back in straight away. He looked very good at the weekend against West Ham. Can he maintain that to the end of the season now? And then that'll be the deciding factor on was it the right decision. I think he needed it. Sometimes you need to sit out and take stock, reboot yourself and go again. I think David De Gea was a good example. We played when he first came, and he was playing and he'd made a few mistakes. And I remember the manager calling me and a few of the experienced players into his office and like, listen, I've got David De Gea sitting there playing at Anfield against Liverpool, huge game, pressure situation. Do I go with a kid or do I bring someone in with experience? And we all kind of just sat there and we gave our opinions. And the manager ended up keeping him in. And the kid had a decent game and it built his confidence again straight from there. But he kind of knew that was like a last chance saloon for a little while, maybe, as a young keeper. And he responded well. And, I mean, those little things build character. They build people. And I think without those little things happening to David, you don't get the David today that came back from the situation that he was in probably this time last year, where everyone was saying he's finished at Man United. They've got to get rid of him, to now people saying that he's one of the best in the world again.
Can you put some meat on the bones of that statement there? You're talking about going to places like Anfield. These are the sort of insights I love, right? You go to Anfield, Gaffer's talking about maybe going with a little bit more experience. Where's the line sometimes between ability and experience? Because you might be able to pick your best ability 11, but sometimes you go to places like an Anfield, maybe you need a bit more mentally, a bit more experience. Like, what's the tangibles in there?
Well, places like Anfield, ability comes out the window sometimes. You've got to be able to handle the pressure, handle the demands that they're going to put you under. That stadium, what it puts you under as a Man United player coming to town, because it's different from, I don't know, even a Man City player or an Arsenal player going to Anfield and playing is very different to a Man United team when you're fighting on all fronts against each other. Going to Anfield, that's the jungle, man. It's brilliant, and we loved it. And I think the best players, not necessarily technically the best players, but the players who have that mentality and that who like those challenges and don't kind of fold under that type of pressure, are the ones that enjoy going there and perform under that type of pressure. And listen, very rarely do you play really well in those games. Back in the day, it was who grinded the most, who earned that little bit of luck. An element of quality will come into it at that moment in time. John O'Shea, one bit of quality. Tevez, that one bit of quality. Forlan, that one moment of quality. But around that, you've had to deal with so many different elements that comes with playing that game. And you've got to be made of the right stuff. And like, even I remember Sir Alex Ferguson used to really, I don't think he really trusted Wazza even in that situation sometimes, because he used to feel that he used to be too much. Wazza would get too hyped up. Wazza weren't scared of it. Wazza had to manage himself in terms of managing that. He'd explode because he's got so much pent up anger of it's where he's from. A lot of his mates are from that area. He's an ex-Evertonian and he's playing for Man United. They're on his case the whole time. And when he was young, anger management was probably a part of his game that he had to kind of curtail a little bit and work on. And I think early on, the manager was a bit like, I think I'm going to have to take him out. I don't think I'm going to play him in these games sometimes. And I think he had big conversations about that. And he used to and fro and ebb and flow about it. Shall I, shan't I? Where any other game in the calendar, why is Wayne Rooney's one of the first names on the team sheet?
Wow.
Angry Wayne Rooney was something else, though, wasn't he?
Oh, my God. Angry Wayne Rooney is playing in my Premier League all-time 11. 100%.
The best.
How easy would you wind up a bull in training?
Oh, I used to have him on a bit of string. Oh, my God. I used to argue every training session. We'll ask him when he comes on one time. Me and him used to swear at each other and argue like you've never known. In games and in training all the time. Just that
same
anger.
Team or opposite team?
Whether it was same team or opposite team didn't matter. Because I'll be shouting at him about something. He'd be shouting at me about something. Just growling.
How do you mark Rooney? How do you mark Rooney out of a game? Because he doesn't play against you, does he?
It's hard, you know. I don't know. It's like what Rooney you'd playing against. Like the one that played as a number 9, I think he was almost unplayable at times. As a 9, he was a joke. Even in the Euros when he first dropped on the scene and he was doing mad stuff, he was like, "Wow, like who is this?"
We played Croatia versus England 2004.
He was like a machine. You're just thinking like, where has this come from? Like the French players must have been thinking, Jesus. But he was I don't know. Weiser was one of them. If you kicked him sometimes, that's the only way I used to think to myself, if a player would be a bit of a needle and get into and try and wind him up. That's what I would have done. I'd have tried to wind him up maybe.
Yeah, but you might wind him up and then you release that screamer against Newcastle.
But hoping that he leaves a little bit on someone late and gets a red card.
Yeah, or he screams a screamer. You don't know what way it could go. But yeah, you know what? I'm looking at Man United's fixtures. Obviously, you got Middlesbrough next in the FA Cup. I mean, it's not that much of a big deal. I mean, it used to be a big deal, FA Cup. But you got that, and then obviously afterwards you got Burnley. Tough opposition, if I'm honest. Are you more confident with where Man United are now going forward over the next few weeks? There's a little bit of a break this week as well. Do you reckon Ralph's starting to get comfortable now?
I think up until we've got one of the big top 6 or top 8 teams, I'm okay. But at the end, you just don't know because we've had that inconsistency. It's difficult. You go into a game, even West Ham. I'm going at the West Ham game at Old Trafford, and I'm thinking, if West Ham turn up today, we could be under it. Do you know what I mean? And that's not a good place to be. I think it's going to take building blocks to put in place.
Do you know what your fixtures are, Rio and Steve? Mid-March, the end of Feb, it's spicy. You got Atletico Madrid first leg, then obviously you got Watford, but then after that you got City and then Spurs and then Madrid and then Liverpool. You know,
we got Southampton Leeds prior to that as well, which ain't going to be easy. Southampton had a good performance against City, perhaps shown how you could. I think they played 4-2-2 as well. Interestingly, I think you can have a look a little bit what they do and maybe look to try and unsettle City a little bit like that.
We'll see. Before we move on, Rio, Declan Rice. Woo!
You're going to get him in trouble again.
100% successful long passes, 100% successful dribbles, 97% pass accuracy, 56 passes completed. That's the second most on the pitch. 12 ball recoveries, 4 interceptions. And on top of that, he starts talking about how nice it is to play at OT. What's going on?
No comment.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to say.
No, I don't want any more heat for West Ham fans.
On your mentions.
I don't need any more heat.
Steve, what's your thoughts? 100 milli. Should United
go out and 100 million on him? Because here's the problem. For the same reason all the people are crying out for Dennis Zakaria, I don't think Dennis Zakaria is that good a player, and he might end up just being a squad player for us if he did come in. But you know what our board's like? They'd be like, we bought you a midfielder. There you go. Crack on. I think you could get something like a Ruben Neves and a Tielemans for what it's going to cost you just to bring Declan Rice in. And Declan Rice on his own isn't enough. We probably need 2 starting midfielders, I think. Yeah,
we had a pre-chat. Rio saw it. Cam was saying the problem with a new show that we got coming out called Five Debates. Cam was saying that every time United signs someone, it's like you're signing someone to be the savior. And I think that's exactly what Steve's saying. Declan Rice on his own isn't enough. Where do you think United can improve, Rio? Is probably the question I'm asking.
I don't think it matters what individuals Man United bring in. It's been proven over a long period of time now that you can bring in your superstars and this is a saving grace, etc. It's about the way that the team is built and the way that the tactics are implemented. I think you need a style of football and you need tactics put in place and an identity put in place, which you've been calling for ages, that you can all, other players can all identify with, and then you go forward with it. Until that point, it's just playing off the cuff. You're just allowing individuals to, he's going to win you a game or he's going to win you a game. Bruno done it for the last couple of years, 18 months. When Bruno shows up and produces a moment, we've won the game. It wasn't down to tactics. It wasn't down to structure. It wasn't down to an identity or philosophy. It was down to individual brilliance. And the best teams on the planet don't win things through individuals. They win it because the team plays the best. But then there's got an individual within that who might be able to produce the magic here and there. But until that system is put in place, I don't care who we sign.
I want an apology from you and Steve, because I'm going to be looking to clip in the videos when I said that United is full of individualism and you lot shouted me down and said that weren't the case. You can make as much face as you want, Steve. You lot are liars. But yeah, we'll deal with that on another occasion.
Find it.
Yeah, I will find it. Hopefully I'll find it soon because this video is supposed to get turned around quick. So I'll find it. We've got our freestyler. Jordan Wynts did a fantastic job last week. He's got this week's freestyle. Not only has he done a freestyle real quickly, it's actually relevant to the results. So I want you guys to check this out now.
Wynts, 5 with 5. Many songs on the beat. It's that Prem tour. Let's go. Man City 12 wins in a bounce, winning due to Southampton. Liverpool got a W at Palace, title race is on, they ain't ramping. Arsenal 0-0 to Burnley, got a little help to fight the relegation. Chelsea when impacting Spurs 2-0, now they're comfy in third maintaining. Man U, last minute win beat West Ham, Rashford sitting on 2-2. Fergie time still here, made that clear top 4, now let's see what he do. Last week of the transfer window, so far Gerrard been busy. Got Coutinho, now I'm hearing Suarez link Villa's team soon silly.
Do you know what? Yeah, seeing him do that, the response that I've had from loads of people in my DMs and whatnot, and in the comments has been great. So, Wynts, keep it up, man. Loving your stuff.
For sure, man. Anyone specifically hit him up? Would you say? Or anyone specifically hit you up about his freestyle?
Wilfred Zaha come in my DM shouting me saying, "Listen, man, great to see a young kid getting some shine like that." Loads of there's loads of other people. I'll put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Premier League footballers, because you all follow Rio anyway. Only a couple of you follow me and Joel. All of you follow Rio. I want to know Premier League footballer roll call. Hit Rio's DMs with a little waving emoji and just tell us that you're watching. Because I want to know what sort of audience we're going out to here. Because I know that it's a mad one. I just want to see it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Oh, man. Okay, cool. So next thing that we're looking at. Now, the FA are investigating a yellow card received by an Arsenal player. I'm just letting you guys know. I think it's Xhaka in it. I can't accuse, but it has to be Xhaka. It's either Xhaka or Gabriel, because sometimes the way my boys be getting yellow cards, it's a madness. You know, I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about it or not, but Rio told me to start. You know what I mean? To start speaking my mind a little bit more. You say he ain't worrying about my shifts at Arsenal, but I don't know. Are you allowed? I'll ask Steve, because obviously Rio's scratching his head. He ain't trying to get involved. He's trying to go back to the training ground. Steve, who's your thoughts on that player?
I think your organisation's in so much trouble that this is the least of your worries. Where's your captain this week?
Where?
You see, let's quickly talk about the Burnley.
They're not supposed to. I think that's the tip of the iceberg for what you got to sort out there.
That can't be going on in today's age, surely, man. I can't have that someone's doing that stuff, getting a yellow card.
Rio, stop it, bro. Like, come on. You know what the game can be now. Now, we're not saying someone's done it, I'm just saying that, you know, I'm looking at the stats, who's got the most yellow cards. It points to that, you know. But
something the other week about a non-league game having like out of nowhere like 300 grand put on a final score or something like that in a non-league game like about a month ago, and you just like from Thailand. And it's like, I'm not going to name the team.
I can believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a friend that got done for that. My friend Moses Swaby got done for something like that. He was playing, he was dealing with people from those sides and that. Anyway, but yeah, looking at the Burnley game, man, that was disappointing, man.
Play the stand music.
Chris Wood.
What happened to your team?
Nah, it was sad, wasn't it, really? Like, all I got from you
Chris Wood wasn't playing.
We don't have enough firepower. The fact that I look at Lacazette and that's our biggest threat, and then if you need another attacking threat, we took off Emil Smith-Rowe, brought on Eddie Nketiah. He's not having a great time for us in the league, unfortunately. When there's too much pressure on our young boys, man. If Saka's not playing well, Emil Smith-Rowe, who was threatening, by the way, isn't firing, then who do you look to, Rio? You tell me. Yeah, Martin, but you can't. He's only started to come back into, you know, like full throttle and stuff like that. You can't rely on him on every game. You can't rely on him on the Liverpool game. If you look at all the other top teams, they've got different players. Chelsea, you had Ziyech stepping up, bad man this weekend. You know what I mean? If you ain't got him, you got other players that are stepping up to the mark. With Hudson-Odoi having a fantastic game, there's too much reliance on one or two individuals in our team. Our squad is weak, and we'll be lucky to get top 6. You know. I'll be honest. We'll be lucky. We'll be lucky to get top 6 if we carry on this way. You know?
Interesting.
Wow.
That's it.
Your energy has shifted, boy. Quick. Your energy has shifted. You was high as a kite.
Mental, in it.
Wow. I call it as it is. Like Steve, I call it as it is. You know, if I think, yeah, you know, we'll be winning a cup this season, I'll let you know. But we can't even win no more cups, no more Europa. We're done and dusted, out. You know. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Beautiful segment, love it.
Yeah, Crystal. You don't need to start showing some more respect, by the way. We're talking about Arsenal. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 3. That was an interesting game.
I thought they were unlucky. Poor finishing. They had opportunities, didn't take them.
Who?
You're not going to get loads against Liverpool. When you get them,
Crystal Palace.
All right, Liverpool should have had that game done and dusted in the first half. The amount of
they should. Palace still had chances.
You say that Palace had a few chances, you know.
Yeah,
like,
they did.
It
should have been done.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, but he did all right. I mean, Edouard, they all had chances, and I reckon. But when Liverpool got their third goal, that's when they just basically wrapped up the game. Did you think it was a penalty? Yes or no, Steve?
I didn't see it.
You didn't. Oh, okay. Rio, did you watch the game?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a penalty.
Why not?
I don't know. I just don't. I think this weekend there's 2 penalty decisions that need to, or 2 big VAR decisions. The penalty at Liverpool, I don't think was a penalty, and the Harry Kane at Chelsea. And I'm just sitting there going, wow, like, and those decisions changed the games. You know, in both games, you're sitting there going, well, if those decisions had gone the other way, could have been different results. Definitely, the Chelsea game could have been a different result because they'd have got in 1-0 Tottenham.
That's true.
You didn't create a lot.
Saying that,
Tottenham were horrendous. I thought they were so poor against Chelsea. I thought they were really poor. I think they looked like in the Carabao Cup. The way they looked there, they looked toothless. Kane, that was the only real in the first half, especially where they just looked. Chelsea just looked like men against, like, you know, like a man against, not a boys' team. That's probably a bit too disrespectful, but a team that know what they're doing against a team just looked like we're here, but do we really believe we should be here playing at Stamford Bridge? Do you know what I mean? That's how they looked, and it was. I think when you see Conte after, I just think I don't think Conte realised the mountain of a job that he had to do going there.
He said it. He goes, the difference between the top teams and his team is grand. But what is surprising, that was his first. I think that was his first league defeat in the Premier League. You know, like, so. That's why I do believe that Tottenham will probably they'll be top 5. But before I was saying top 4, but I think they'll probably
They're going to run us close for sure. They're definitely going to run us close. They've got a right load of games in hand on us. They're definitely going to run us close. In fact, how many have they got on us?
Well, you reckon you'll get fourth?
Yeah, I'd have said something like we might even get third until Chelsea won this weekend, and I think that's probably put a nail in that, to be honest. I think they're probably a bit too far for us to catch now, even though we've got 2 games in hand on them. I think that'd still leave us, even if we won both of those, probably like 3 points off them, whereas I think Tottenham, they've got 2 games in hand on us, but they're only 2 points behind. You've got to be looking over your shoulder at that, I think.
Boy, I can't believe it. Started the season, we were talking
Tight,
about...
and you know what? West Ham are right
Amazing.
in that mixer. I mean, I guess you lot are kind of in that mixer as well, but, you know, Spurs have got an extra game in hand on you, so you're definitely going to finish below them. But that's
Rio.
That's not new.
Rio, I remember there was a season when, when Man City beat you guys, and I think it's the season before you signed Van Persie, and I saw an interview.
When we drew. Thank you, Joel.
Okay, cool. And then basically he had said his attitude in the interview was, that's not happening again. Obviously, he goes out, he makes sure by getting Van Persie. Right now, we're having this conversation and we're talking about United hitting fourth. It's all blasé. Arsenal lucky to get top 6. You know, if Fergie didn't win the league, you experienced it a couple of times. What was his mentality like during pre-season? And, you know, can you please explain to us? Because I just don't understand the casualness from big Man United at the moment.
No, I think it was different every time we didn't win the league. I think it was, I think a couple of times you finish the season and even in the change room after the game, because you've got to remember the season will finish that last day of the season. You don't end up going back to the training ground. That last time you see the manager before you break up, and the squad members will be in the change room at whatever ground you're playing at, home or away. And a couple of times I remember him saying, like, listen, thanks for everything you've given me this season. We haven't won the league. But a few of you will not be here next season.
Wow.
And some of you better make sure you come back and you think about things over the summer and come back with your head screwed right on the proper way to come and we go again next season. And then you had other times where we lost the league. That time you're talking about against QPR and Man City when they won the league on the last day of the season, I'll never forget that he said to us, listen, you guys, make sure that you remember the feeling in this stadium. Remember that feeling. When you come back to pre-season, this is your fuel. This is where the fire in the belly comes from. This moment here, you've given everything this season. You haven't got what you wanted. We haven't got what we thought we deserved. We had it in our hands. It's gone. But remember the feeling. Remember the smiles on the faces of them away for the fans in this stadium against you, people laughing at you, etc. Take it all in. Don't be scared of it. And then come back next season ready to work. He always said that. Come back ready to work.
It's a shame, man. Like, because I feel that's what's going on at City right now. Like if, for example, Pep doesn't win the league for whatever reason, he's having those type of conversations with these players. And
you know what Pep is now? You know what Pep is now and what he's created there at City? What? He said it in an interview the other day after a Champions League game, I think it was, or even a league game. I was doing it at BT. And he said his biggest achievement at the club, and they were talking about winning the Champions League, would that be your biggest achievement? He said, no, our biggest achievement is the fact that these guys have been able to grind out trophy after trophy in the 5 years he's been here. They've been able to create that winning culture every year. He spoke about Kevin De Bruyne specifically being there every year he's been there, and the fact that these guys like him can get up every day and bring that winning mentality every day to the training ground and then to the 90 minutes in the stadiums. He said that's the beautiful thing for him. That's what he loves, and that's what we had at United. That obviously isn't there now. Is that culture that you set up is important. What's my man doing it without violin for?
Cool segment, bro. Are we moving on?
I'll give up to Pep. He's done bits, doing absolute miracles on a shoestring.
Oh, man. You need to show some respect. Man, speaking about Pep, Man City drawing with Southampton. I mean, I think at this stage it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, City's 12-game winning streak coming to an end. Currently still, around 9 points ahead of Liverpool. I mean, they're cruising, really.
Go on, Steve.
They're going to win the league. Just let's stop calling it what it is. Stop trying to add added drama. If City don't win the league, it's going to take an absolutely monumental collapse. And I don't think
Right.
Liverpool, all right, they have picked up wins. They will pick up wins, but their form will not maintain without having, Mane and Salah. It won't.
No, that's true.
City are going to have to lose like 4, 5, 6 games, and the other teams have to win every game to have a chance of winning.
Pep's not doing that, bro. Pep's not doing that. He's not doing that at all, man. Okay, cool. So we can agree that there's no competition there. I have to give it up.
The league is over. Man City have won the league. All bets off.
Saying that whilst wearing a blue top, ow, must hurt. Aston Villa, massive shout out to Steven Gerrard beating Everton 1-0. They're even starting to grind out results now. Come on, Buendia, you know what I mean? Great finish. Should have been an Arsenal player, but unfortunately, complications. He's ended up over there. Yeah, man. I'm starting to respect Stevie G, man.
Went to a bigger club, Joe.
Pardon?
He went to the bigger club.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What, Villa? Don't be silly. Seriously.
What do you mean? Don't be silly. They got a European Cup. Where's yours?
Listen, we're not, bro. I went around then. That means nothing to me.
Champions of Europe. You've never sang that.
You sound like Liverpool. You know when Liverpool used to make up bare noise and they ain't done nothing for a long time. Stop it, man.
Listen,
come on, man.
You're better than me. Aston Villa are a bigger club than Arsenal. Fact.
Do you know what? Just going back to Aston Villa and Stevie. What I like about Stevie, he's got a demeanour of someone who's been there for a long time and who's been successful and who's a top-class manager. Whether he is or not, his whole demeanour on that touchline just says, respect me. That's what I love about him. Even he's bowled off. He bowled off that pitch at Everton like he would as an ex-Liverpool player going to Goodison against Everton, and you've just beaten 1-0 in their own backyard. The way he strutted off that pitch with pure confidence and looking dead in people's eyes.
You're looking at the fans.
Looking at the fans, eyeballing the fans. He's got that demeanour of, listen, I'm meant to be here and I'm going to be here for a long time as a top manager. And that Liverpool job is waiting. When I'm ready, when I want it, I'll take it. That's the vibe. That he ain't saying that, but that's what's coming off of him for me.
Did you get on well with him as a player, though, Rio? Because you see people like that can be very difficult to get on with if you're at this point, you're now more relaxed, Rio, like family, kids, But at the time, you're the ultimate winner. 3 Champions League finals in 4 years. You're playing against these guys that hate you. What's your relationship like with the likes of Steven Gerrard? Forget the whole England thing, just you and a Liverpool player like.
Yeah, I didn't have a relationship with Stevie as a player. I never had his phone number, never texted him, never chatted to him really. I only see him at England camps or when we played Liverpool, that's it. So we never really had I don't think we hated each other. I don't think we really liked each other loads. He was all right. And I think known him since we played when we both retired and we were at BT working together. That was a relationship both ways really. But there was always one thing between us. There was respect. I respected him as a football player and as a man, 100%. And I think he'd tell you himself if he did or not. But that's what I did. I respected him. But I think that's the important part. Whether you like someone or you don't like them because who they play for and you just don't get on in that sense, but there's a genuine respect there. And that was the thing that's needed between top players. But also, once we retired and that competitive edge went, everything was fine. He's a great lad, a great laugh, and very, very determined and steely and very measured in everything he does. Whether it be sitting on the sofa doing the punditry, always measured, always came prepared, always done his research, always had his notes, very much like he played football in that sense, and looks like how his approaches to management, because the team he's got together there is very meticulous with who he's brought in. There's people there that he really trusts from when he's been younger, who's been in the system at Liverpool, who were young coaches. Tom Coleshaw, who played he was in the at Lillishore and with England as a youth player, under 15s and 16s when I was a kid. He's my year. On his coaching staff, and another couple of other coaches who've got really good reputations as well, young coaches. And then you've got Gary McAllister, who understands the landscape of management and the whole backroom staff, and he's got a good mix of experience and youth. But that's put together by someone who you can tell he's been very meticulous in what he's doing, and everybody's put in their positions, and there's a reason behind it. Very Stevie G-ish.
Did you get on with, well, like you said, you didn't have a relationship, but you see how you said with Wazza, there were times where you would swear at each other in training or whatever it is, because, you know, it's just, that's how it goes. Were you like that with him in the England camp sometimes? Stevie, get yourself in there, like vice versa. Rio, get back where you're supposed to be. Or is it a thing where you just don't really say too much to him because, you know?
I didn't really have to shout at him, really, because he was always where he should be, probably. Like, he's a top player, man. But, I mean, it was different. When you're at your club, it's a lot more... That's the difference with England in my generation. We didn't have the club culture at England. The difference with this team now, with the England team, they're all mates. They're all club culture. They've got a club culture going on there. That's what Gareth created, and that's the testament to him and that team. So it's very different. So no, I never came into that situation with Stevie at all. Not really many England players, if I'm honest. I'd argue with Wazza at England duty as well.
Yeah.
Steve, argumentative.
What?
Was he the most argumentative with you?
Yeah, Wazza. You couldn't shout. I couldn't shout at Wazza. Sometimes I'd say to Vida or someone, I'd go, look, I'm going to shout at him. Or Carras or someone, I'd go, I'm going to scream at him, right? Just to get a reaction. And I'd scream at him and he'd turn around and he'd have froth hanging out his mouth. Like, go, you know what I mean? With his shirt ripped at the front and that. And you go, I'd just start laughing sometimes. But that was just him. He couldn't help it. If you said something to him, especially when he first come to United, it was funny. The lads would tell you, Fletcher and that. You could say something to him and he'd just jump in it straight away.
Is it?
Competitive energy.
Now as a manager then, because he doesn't look like he bites like that.
He's cool, calm and collected now. I keep saying it. I'm not dropping names or dropping things that I've been able to do. But when I went in the training ground with him, he was so calm. That calming influence was like that was one of the biggest surprises to me in his managing techniques and style.
Yeah, he didn't win across the game over the weekend against Nottingham Forest. But if you can't take away, he's still doing a fantastic job there. You can even see the fight in his team, you know, like they scored within like 2 minutes to go or something, but it just wasn't enough. And I'm actually happy to see Ravel Morrison's been playing a lot of football under him as well. Got a red card over the course of the weekend, but I can say that he's been a mainstay, and it's so good to see Ravel playing football in England again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Steve, I'm not, and you probably didn't watch Newcastle versus Leeds, but has your feelings changed with Newcastle in the last couple of weeks, seeing some of the players that they're going for? Do you think they'll still get relegated? What's your thoughts with what you see going on over there?
I thought they'd have done more business, to be honest. I thought they'd have gone for it a little bit harder. Signing someone like Chris Woods almost seems like you're preparing to come up next year a little bit, doesn't it? He might also be capable of grinding results. Of course he does. He might also be capable of grinding results out this season. But that's what it almost felt like. They're down, aren't they, Rio?
Signing Chris Wood is destabilising and weakening a competitor. That's the way I see it.
They're well screwed now.
Who?
Burnley.
Well, after the draw and the battering of Arsenal, they got a chance, I think.
You've got to think they can't be going places like the Emirates and dropping points if they want to stay up, can they?
That's a good point.
John Dyke's going on fuming.
I think Newcastle will stay up, and I think Newcastle will then do big business in the summer. I think they'll go big in the summer. You know what I like? This is what I'm saying. People going, they should spend more, they should do this. And then people go, it's only because they got money and they beat them with that stick. But they're doing it seems, the other way, a more meticulous, and hopefully in their mind, they're doing it probably a more strategic and not as gung-ho as maybe other teams when they've had money straight away have just gone bananas and just got, you go, wow, what the hell is that circus?
Yeah. So who's going down then? Because you've got in the mix, for me, it looks like you've got definitely...
Well, before Norwich went on this run that they're on at the moment, I'd have had Norwich as certainties. But right now, wow, they've come out of nowhere and you're thinking, this international break's killed their momentum. It's killed them. So, I don't know. I'm going to go Burnley, Watford, and one of Newcastle, Norwich.
You just said Newcastle are not going down, mate. Come on.
Who's the other one in there?
You got Everton, Norwich, Watford, Burnley. I want to say Leeds are involved, but
no.
Yeah,
I reckon that's that bottom five you just mentioned. The cut adrift.
Yeah, Everton, Norwich, Newcastle, Watford, Burnley. Go on, pick your three from them, please.
Burnley, Watford, And I think Norwich will be slipped back into it. I think if this international break hadn't come round now, they might have had a chance. But this international break, I think, will ruin their momentum.
Burnley, Watford, Norwich. You're saying that, man.
It stays as it is. Burnley, Watford, Newcastle. That's how they go down.
I think Newcastle get out of it. I think they'll add 1 or 2 players in that will have impact, and they'll get them firing.
Jesse seems like he's pretty much done now.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Steve. I reckon Newcastle will go down personally. I think they're even.
You want the big clubs. Newcastle are a big club, man. You want them in the Premier League.
What?
Listen, I'm not commenting with you and your relationship with Newcastle, mate. So
you want Newcastle in the Premier League, mate. I'm telling you.
I want them to go down just for the chaos it'll bring.
St James's Park, when they've got a bit of money behind them, that is box office. You need that in the Prem.
Right.
Remember what St James's Park used to be like when Asprilla, Shearer, Beardsley, Ferdinand, Andy Cole, like all these players, they at Genola, it was an unbelievable place.
Yeah, no, big club. Like even when I've seen, when I go to St James's Park, you look at it and you think these guys should be playing. It's a European club, If you look at the way the stadium's built, and I think you said once, Rio, their fans were always electric, hard. Like you can hear them, when you're playing against them. So
I had a bit of tongue in cheek with them on when I made a couple of comments, laughing, messing about, which they all took too seriously, by the way. But the place with the fans, you have to say, there's no two ways about it. Their fan base is absolutely loyal, crazy, and it's carnival-like in that stadium when they're doing well, and they've got a bit of confidence behind belief in that team. Yeah, you need that in the Premier League.
Yeah. Final results, obviously, we don't have to talk through all of them, but obviously West Ham beating Brentford 2-1. Norwich City versus Watford. For me, I just want to talk about Sargent's goal, bruv. Did you see the way you flicked it in there? They were trying to say it was offside or whatever they were saying, but I'm glad that it wasn't disallowed, man. This VAR thing can be killing the game sometimes, but well done, Sargent, man.
Enjoy the goal. Back to Les Ferdinand. Les is your cousin, isn't it?
Second cousin, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you speak much to him as you was sort of coming up? Did he have any influence?
I got a big family. I didn't even know his family. Didn't even know him. Yeah. And then when I signed for QPR, then he signed from Besiktas. Put 2 and 2 together. Family start speaking. It's like, rah. Yes,
what? You mean all that time you were playing football, you didn't know he was your second cousin?
Never knew. My family's big, man. And spread over everywhere. So didn't have a clue. And then all of a sudden, I went QPR, was there. Then Les Ferdinand's at the club, and then it's like everyone's going, "Is that your family? Is he your uncle? Is he your cousin, or what? What is he?" And my dad done a bit of digging, and then that was it. And I clinged on to that for the life of me, mate. Telling everyone that's my family. Didn't even know him.
He was an animal.
Yeah,
bad player. Unbelievable footballer. Don't even get the credit he deserves him, I'm telling you.
And he's a nice man as well, man. Like really, like what he does, man. I think there's a lot of stuff that some people do behind the scenes, and what he does for QPR and just the local community in general. Big shout out to you, Les Ferdinand.
Is he director of football there now?
He's behind the scenes at QPR, so he does a lot of the stuff there. Smooth operator.
Yeah, proper.
You're just unlucky to be in that sort of time in the 90s. You had the likes of Fowler. Kevin Campbell didn't get a sniff. Shearer, Sheringham, Ian Wright, Andy Cole, Collymore. It was an absolute killer's row for centre forwards. Yeah. But centre forwards especially just.
Yeah. Guys, I see you guys are in a good mood. We're on Bible 5 this week. I haven't seen you guys so relaxed for a while, man.
We're not celebrating, but we're sitting here happy because Man United are fourth. That is mad.
How pathetic that is, mate. Guys. I don't know what to say. Tom, we will be back in top 4. Yeah, believe me. All right, let's
shout out Tom because the studio's looking so good, man. I love it. Joel's lucky to be in the studio right now. Looks beautiful. Love it.
He's nodding his head. He's loving it. He gave you one of these. Guys, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We still want to get these subscribers up. Let us know what you think. Are you agreeing with me, Steel, Rio this weekend? Who's taking an L? Let us know. And of course, massive shout out to Wynts, great section, and we will be back soon with new content. 5 debates coming out soon. Don't forget to watch Rio's video with Kevin De Bruyne, where he picks his top 5 team. That was amazing. I know Rio's got something that he's doing soon with the likes of Stevie G. I'm not saying, are you allowed to talk about the Champions League one that you're doing soon?
No, not yet. We've got to wait, man. We've got a beautiful. We got a surprise, guys. We got big stuff coming down. You got to subscribe, share, and like because we've got some big interviews coming in the coming weeks. Trust me.
For sure. And we'll be out soon. Peace.